Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of WossyRadio. So today, we are back with Game 3 of Round 1 of the Dragon Gym Challenge, brought to you by the lovely folks at Dragon Shield, the lovely Stefan Eriksson, and myself, who I'm hoping people will say is lovely, but that's not really my decision to make. This is our alternate format tournament, you know the deal by now. 2 copies of each card, no GXs, no Vs, no Prism stars, and you've got to use your own colour, or colourless, but it must be more of your own colour. Now today we are looking at the lovely Erik from Rare Candy. He is going to be using grass decks, and he's going to be using products like this. And the lovely David Hochmann, and he is going to be playing Psychic. And he is going to be using lovely products like this, because Dragon Shield have hooked him up with sleeves and mats and things of that nature. So we've got an alternate format, we've got a lot of fun, so sit down, grab yourself a nice cold beverage, and enjoy Game 3 from Round 1 of the Dragon Gym Challenge. Alrighty then, so we have David on the top with his Psychic deck, we have Erik on the bottom with his Grass deck, and I mean we saw Psychic winning round 1 with Josh last time round and going out. We actually saw Grass with Birdkeeper Toby not able to make it out of round 1 last time, but I do really like Erik's Grass deck. It is weird, it is not what I expected, and I'm kind of all in on it if I'm honest with you. It looks really cool. Of course, David is the defending Dragon Gym Challenge champion, given that he won with his Darkness deck last time. He had weird stuff last time, and would you believe it, he starts off this time and his active Pokemon is the Mewtwo from Detective Pikachu. Well, of course it is. Why wouldn't David be playing a Mewtwo from Detective Pikachu? It's kind of cool, if I'm honest with you. It's kind of one that flies under the radar. Free energy, 130, and you discard 2 psychic energy from it. Or 2 energy, 30 damage, and you turn off one of your opponent's attacks during their next turn. Of course, not to be outdone, Erik's gone and got himself a Kartana in the active, which is another one we weren't necessarily expecting. If you've got 4 prize cards remaining, you do 130. And also for free energy, you can flip a coin, and if heads, you just put the defending Pokemon down to 10 HP. Better if you can poison and things of that nature. But as we talked about in the previous game with Joe against Chip, what we see here is these Ultra Beasts being really useful in terms of single energy attackers that can occasionally come out. Now, David does, as in they're only going to work on occasional turns. David gets Mysterious Treasure for an Inkay. Nobody should be surprised to learn that David's playing a Malamar deck here. Malamar is clearly the big advantage that Psychic decks have right now. Like, if you're playing Psychic decks, you've got to be playing Malamar. In this format, we've seen, and I've seen all of the deck lists, I can tell you that there has been lots of change from one tournament to the next. This Grass deck of Erik's does not look anything like the Grass deck that Toby ran in the previous tournament. But it's still a 2-2 Malamar line at the centre of David's deck, just like there was from Josh's deck first time round. And I don't think we should be particularly surprised about this. It's too good, if I'm honest with you. It's too gosh darn good. So David does get his Inkay. I mean, double Inkay turn 1 would be amazing. Oh, and of course, there is that horror Psychic energy. So if Erik attacks into that Mewtwo, he's going to have to take 2 damage counters. Rebel Clash wasn't legal for the prior Dragon Gym Challenge. It is this time round. So we do see an Execute hitting the field there. And then a Great Ball's coming down for Erik. What's he got? Looks like there's one Pokemon he popped to the front. It's a Combee. Now that Combee is actually, well, the Combee, nobody cares about the Combee. To be fair, for 1 energy, it can get all your other Combee out. But then again, there aren't that many Combee because you're only allowed to play 2 of each card. But Vespiquen, for a single Grass energy, does 120 as long as you've got at least 4 Grass Pokemon on your bench. Sorry, at least 5. You got to have, if there's 4 or fewer, it fails. So, essentially what Erik's done here is just gone full Grass deck. and then I can take advantage of Vespiquen. It does mean he's not playing any of these consistency cards like we've seen with Cinccino and Ordino and Jirachi and all of that in previous videos, though Joe was obviously the only one allowed to play Jirachi. But we get a Shuckle going down there. Shuckle lets you search your deck for free basic energy and discard them. And clearly what's happening here is Erik is working on the Alolan Executor that does extra damage for each energy, each different type of basic energy in your discard pile. So that's what Erik's going for here. He is using Shuckle to get the energy in the discard pile so that he can take advantage later with Alolan Executor. And he's actually got some really, really nice options here. Between the Vespiquen, between the Alolan Executor, the Kartana, he's got some really, really nice. He's got some really nice attackers. One gigantic issue I do believe might be that lack of consistency. He's not playing those consistency cards other players are, so that he can take advantage of Vespiquen. But he's got himself a Marnie here. That's going to give himself a new hand. Both players shuffle a hand into their deck. The player who played, shuffle and put them at the bottom of their deck. The player who played draws 5 cards. The other player draws 4. Also, right, as we start, I want to give a shout out to both players here. How flat does this look? And don't get me wrong, it is not easy to be recording these things at home, but both these players have done an excellent, excellent job of getting really flat viewpoints. And it really does make it look like a natural game. Good shout, chaps. Good shout. So we do see a Trico coming down here as well. Yeah. Weirdly enough, we've got Grovyle here. We don't have Sceptile, which might surprise you until you remember what the Grovyle does. The Grovyle is the one that just lets you search for a grass Pokemon and put it into your hand. Remember how I just said Erik is lacking for consistency cards? He still is, incidentally. But this at least is going to help a lot. It's not to say it's going to do everything. It's not to say it's going to be perfect. But it is to say it is really going to help him to make sure that he's got the Pokemon he needs. And at the end of the day, Alolan Executor is a single energy attacker. Kartana is a single energy attacker. And Vespiquen is a single energy attacker. So he's probably going to get away with it. At least I hope he's going to get away with it. It would be very sad if he did not. So, we've got a lot of Pokemon out for Erik at this stage. He's got his Trico ready to evolve. I did start going through Alpha Sapphire recently, so I've obviously had to go for my Gen 3 Pokemon. Let's be clear, no. Clearly I'm not going for Trico. Clearly I went for Torchic. I don't see why anyone wouldn't go for Torchic. Torchic's amazing and Blaziken's awesome. Not a huge fan of Combusken, so I didn't let my Torchic evolve until it hit level 35. So then the next time it evolves, it actually hasn't evolved into 36 yet. It will be Blaziken very, very soon. But in this particular game, I can see where he's coming from. Now, we do see Turffield Stadium coming down, and Pokemon-wise, Erik is not going to be worried here. With Turffield Stadium down, that lets him search for an evolved grass Pokemon. So he's going to use Turffield Stadium to search for Grovyle, if he doesn't already have it. I assume he probably used it to search for it then. Oh, he's also got an Applin down. We'll talk about Applin in a minute. Now, there is the double Inkay from David. That is what he's looking for. And essentially, what he can do is then search 2 grass Pokemon during his turn, 1 evolution and 1 whatever he wants. That is going to really help with consistency. Remember, Vespiquen can only attack if there are 5 grass Pokemon on the bench. So it's not just having the ones he needs to attack with, it's also just making sure he's got enough down so that he's allowed to attack with Vespiquen. So he does get an air balloon, does David, onto his Mewtwo. Oh, he shows his hand. His hand was just... There were 3 supporters in hand, and he's playing a Cynthia. So he literally just had a hand of 4 supporters. That is, That is not what he was hoping for, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully Dev is going to go a bit better here. I mean, he's got 2 Inkay down, one of which is able to evolve this turn. And he's got a Mewtwo in the active with an energy. And with a second energy, he can start attacking. And it's not a phenomenal attacker. Not at this stage of the game. He's just doing 30 damage and turning off one of Kartana's attacks. But then again, there's only one attack that Kartana can use next turn, given the cost of it. Because the other one is a free energy attack and there's no energy on it. So you know what? Why not? Like, it's only 30 damage. It's not going to break the bank, so to speak. Kartana's got 70, but David can at least get some stuff on the board. Now, the other thing is Kartana's actually a really good starting Pokemon in this game, or indeed any game for Erik, because, yeah, fine, 70 HP is low, but it does have free retreat, and that is, quite the phenomenal. I mean, you've heard me talk so many times about what a redonkulous advantage it is to have a free retreater just to help you out, and that is exactly what's happening here. So, yeah, good work. Now, we do see a Great Ball there from David. Did he grab anything from that Great Ball? Have to wait and see. It doesn't look like David's got very much going here. Like, don't get me wrong. The double Inkay is beautiful. I love the double Inkay. Oh, now he does have a mysterious treasure here. You'll notice, just like the first mysterious treasure, he did actually discard a psychic energy while playing it, which gets the psychic energy in the discard. So now he's got himself a Malamar. And generally speaking, right, once you've got your Malamar, you just need a couple of attackers and then you're rolling from there. So David might be in a position here where even if he's not got a huge amount going, he can just get some attackers. Now, there's a Mew. Mew's not going to do a huge amount right now. It protects your bench and it lets you drop 3 damage counters. But we do see... Oh, I like this. So he's basically just said, look, Mewtwo is a good attacker, and I'm not ready for Mewtwo yet. It doesn't have enough energy on. So let's just go for Mew and drop 3 damage counters. And he's dropping them onto the Execute, which is not quite KO'd, but it's not far away. It's not far off. So, at least David's got something down on the field. It's not amazing, but he's got something down on the field. Got some energy down, he's got some Pokemon. Now, we do see the Grovyle is out for Erik, as we knew it would be. And this is giving Erik a huge, huge advantage here. He is going to be able to just get all of his Pokemon. And it's not everything. He's still going to need energy and trainer cards and all of that. But the key here is that he's going to be able to get all of his Pokemon. He's going to be able to get rolling here. And that is awesome. All right, now it's time to talk about that Flapple. You see, what Flapple does is it places 3 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon, and then you shuffle it into your deck. But of course, what we've been talking about for the past couple of minutes is the ease with which Erik is going to be able to just get all of his Pokemon out. And that's kind of awesome. That he can just keep getting that Flapple out and keep rolling with Flapple while searching it out so easily. Now he's got the Combi, he's got the Grovyle. I mean, that Shuckle is taking up a bench space. Now, he plays Netball. Netball's really cool here. Netball gets you a basic grass Pokemon or a basic grass energy. So, I like that very much indeed. So now comes down the grass energy onto the Alolan Executor. Now, Alolan Executor, this is where we need to know how many different types of energy are in... It looks like there are 3 different types of energy. I mean, the Mew's going to go down anyway, right? That Mew does not have very much HP. But Alolan Executor does 20 damage base, plus 20 more for each type of basic energy in your discard, up to a maximum 100 damage extra, 120 total. So, and it's got 160 HP, let's not forget about that. And David has worked the maths beautifully, incidentally. What he's done, by dropping the 3 damage counter with Mew last turn, he's brought Alolan Executor down to 130 HP, which is exactly the amount of damage that Mewtwo does, and Mewtwo has gone and gotten the KO here, which is lovely. Did have to waste one of his 2 horror energy to do so, which is really sad. But remember, he's actually got the air balloon on Mewtwo, so Mewtwo can retreat to make way for other attackers in the future. So a really nice turn from Erik getting the KO on the Mew, but then David is able to come right back, and you'll see that 2-turn planning from David that was absolutely vital there. Having the Mew coming up, firstly protected the Mewtwo, but secondly, it was able to guarantee the KO. And David wants to KO with the Mewtwo and then have the big 130 HP Mewtwo in the active. He does not want to get the KO with Mew and then kind of give up a prize after having already lost the Mewtwo. So that was very much the right way round there. Now, Erik does have his Vespiquen down. He is going to need another grass Pokemon. But then again, he's got Grovyle. He's actually playing a Cynthia as we speak, but with Grovyle he should be okay. One of the issues that Erik might run into if he's relying on Vespiquen here is it's all well and good having a lot of grass Pokemon out, but when they get KO'd you're going to need to recover them. That could be a little bit of an issue. Now I'm looking at his deck list here. He's playing 11 basic Pokemon and he needs 6 in play. And in theory, once 5 have been KO'd, he'll only actually ever need to recover 1, taking out prizes and stuff, but that is something to bear in mind. The other thing is, of course, he could end up in a situation where using Flapple's ability to drop 3 damage counters would leave him at too few Pokemon on the bench, and would basically mean he's not activating Vespiquen's attack. So, this is all something he's going to have to bear in mind here. He's got to have a full bench in order to actually get the KO with Vespiquen, but having a full bench might mean that he's then turning down that Flapple. Now, we do see a second Combee hit the field here, and essentially this is Erik's way of saying, right, I'm going Vespiquen. Now, when I've got 4 prizes remaining, I'm probably going to take a turn off and go for Kartana. Oh, now Tool Scrapper comes down getting rid of that air balloon. I did say that was pretty crucial a minute ago. But as it stands at the moment, and Erik he's piling up attackers here. He's trying to make sure that he's always got some attackers ready to go. That can be an issue, especially when you're setting up a support bench like he's doing. He's got 2 Pokemon out just for the ability and 1 that was benched just for the ability. So he does need to make sure he's keeping up with the attackers, which he's doing. You'll notice that David isn't, though. Like, David's got his Mewtwo, and the good news for David is, well, Erik needs a basic Pokemon. You see, we're in that same situation, and it looks like he's actually just giving up the Shuckle here, because essentially what Erik has seen is exactly what I was saying a minute ago. Vespiquen does 120, Mewtwo's got 130. So we need some extra damage. How does Erik get the extra damage? Well, he uses Flapple's ability. Oh, that is a bad hand from David. He's just, oh no, sorry. I thought he was showing his bad hand. He's just showing the discard. It's still a lot of stuff in the discard he'd rather not have there so early. But what David is not getting the extra attackers. That is a problem right now. He is not setting up as well as he would like. I don't know why he thought he was showing me his hand then. I do apologise. So we do see a quick ball coming down. Now David's going to get his basic. My general theory is if someone's showing their hand to camera, my instant reaction is they must have a terrible hand. Oh, I don't know. So anyway, Erik was in an awkward situation where he could get the KO on the Mewtwo using the Flapple, But if he got the KO on the Mewtwo using the Flapple, he would then not have a full bench of grass Pokemon, so he wouldn't be able to attack using Vespiquen. And you see where we're going here? It's just getting awkward. And that is basically, that is the risk that Erik has taken here. He's basically gone, well, you know what? This could go wrong. Never mind. I'm sure it'll work out. Now, the good news for David is he's gone and got that Giratina, but he's only got one energy on it. And he doesn't even have an energy on Mewtwo to attack the Shuckle. Now, we do see another Vespiquen coming out. Now, Erik is in a much better position, because what he can do here is use Flapple's ability. Flapple goes back into the deck, and then he can immediately search out the Applin using Grovyle. And that is going to be a lovely thing. If he wants to do that, that is now an option. It wasn't an option on the previous turn because he'd already used Grovyle. So, we see, so we do see an Ordinary Rod coming down, getting a 1-1 Alolan Executor line, and he is going to put the grass energy back in. Obviously, he doesn't want to put too many energy in because he's recovering his Alolan Executor. That's the Pokemon that relies on having energy in the discard. However, he still needs some energy. He's also, because he's going Alolan Executor, he's only playing 6 grass energy. He's also playing Lightning, Fighting, Water, Fire, and Psychic as 1 each, but that's purely to fuel with Alolan Executor. And incidentally, right, he does have to play Shuckle every turn. Unless he gets, like, stupidly lucky, he's going to have to play them every turn. Every game. Never mind. Playing them every turn would be slightly excessive. And now, we've seen that David's slow start is actually affecting Erik. Erik went and whacked the Shuckle in the active going, look, KO this, I'll see you in a minute, mate. Now. So it looks like Erik was going to use Professor's research there and then stopped himself just in time. Right as he went to grab his deck, went, no, I'll use Flapple's ability first, get those 3 damage on the field, and then presumably he's going to come back with his Professor's research in just a moment. So he does get 2 energy onto the Inkay there, which is an interesting one. I've been saying 3 damage the whole time, haven't I? It is 2 damage on 1 Pokemon. Apologies, you have the cards on screen because I've edited them in after the fact. I don't have the cards on screen right now. Obviously, I've got a laptop I'm using for reference, but kind of trying to pay attention to the game here. This is what I go through to bring you these interesting, exciting games. You're welcome. So, now we see, it looks like he's playing Turffield Stadium. Or is he? He's playing something. I think that's a quick ball, which he's going to use to go ahead, and just get that Applin back. I mean, between Grovyle and Turffield Stadium, he really is in a very, very good position. Did he use a quick ball when he could have just used Grovyle? Right, so now he's going for Turffield Stadium. And the cool thing is, right, generally, and he goes for the Flapple. Now, usually this might not be a great idea. Maybe your opponent drops a Marnie. Maybe your opponent drops a reset stamp. Basically, just shuffles it back into your hand and you've wasted the search. I generally wouldn't say to play an Evolution Incense turn 1, for instance. But then, because then if you do shuffle your hand into your deck, you've lost the... You've not gained anything, but you've lost that really nice search card. But here it doesn't matter. Worst case scenario, David makes Erik shuffle his hand back into his deck. So Erik just uses Grovyle next turn. Or Turffield Stadium next turn. So I love what Erik's doing here. He is just keeping rolling. He is just making sure he's got those Flapples. It does look like he was kind of relying on David to KO the Shuckle, and David didn't do it. And I think that has slowed down the game for both players. But remember, Erik can never deck out. Erik will not lose by decking out. Not unless David's playing something like Balelra and Bryson Man to force him into doing so. And I'm just having a quick look at his deck, but shockingly he isn't. Because anytime Erik's got no card... Okay, he can deck out if he plays really badly. Or if David KOs all of his Flapple. Because anytime Erik's got a Flapple on the field, if he ends up with 0 cards in deck, he just uses the ability and now he's got 2 cards in deck. Oh, and there's that second air balloon. He lost it before, he's got it now. Oh, and it looks like David's actually just putting up an Inkay. He literally doesn't have an attacker. Mewtwo attacks for 2 energy. Giratina attacks for 3. David is literally saying, like, I don't have anything to attack with. It's not like I don't have my preferred attacker. He's not making a choice. He's literally going, I actually don't have an attacker here. I just don't have one. So he's putting the Inkay up and going, you know what, Erik, have a free KO. Oh, I like this. So Flapple's then gone and popped the 2 damage onto Inkay there. And then the Appling goes back down. We see Tatum Liza is going to give Erik a new hand of 5 cards. And there is a possibility here that even if Erik doesn't get that Shuckle out the active, he's going to be able to use Flapple next turn. And that is going to get a KO on that Inkay. So whether that Inkay's in the active or not doesn't matter. David literally has to evolve next turn. And if he doesn't evolve next turn, he's going to lose the Inkay. How harsh is that? I mean, the answer is, of course, extremely harsh. Unfortunately, it's the way it is. This is what Flapple can do for you. And especially in a game like this, where the entire thing has slowed down, both players are taking a long time to get rolling. To be fair, Erik is reacting to David here. I think if David had a faster start, we'd probably see some big swings from Vespiquen before now. But Erik is content to just kind of play at a slower pace like David is, knowing he's got Flapple. And incidentally, that Flapple, without Flapple, Erik would be in a world of trouble here. Because David's attackers, the Mewtwo, the Giratina, they've got 130 HP. He should be just shy with Vespiquen and just shy with a Alolan Executor. Because remember, Alolan Executor, it maxes out at 120 damage. I mean, literally, Erik is playing 220 damage attackers against David's board of 130 HP Pokemon. And I talk about this a lot. The 120 versus 130 is huge. It's just a big thing in the Pokemon TCG. So what they've basically done here is David has tried to be out of range and done a good job of doing so. But Erik's going, yeah, mate, I got Flapple. So, you know. And now we actually see Shuckle getting powered up here. We actually see Shuckle getting some energy. Shuckle's only got a retreat cost of 1. Oh, no, it looks like Erik's changed his mind and put the energy on Vespiquen. Essentially, even if he puts the energy on Shuckle, he's still not going to be able to retreat. Now, Shuckle, he's going to be able to retreat, but not attack with Vespiquen, so we might as well do it the other way round. Now, Shuckle's attack is very interesting. Single grass energy, you attach 2 basic energy from your discard part of your bench Pokemon, to your Pokemon, in any way you like. The thing is, Erik's only got 1 grass energy in the discard, and Shuckle doesn't say up to, it says 2. So if Erik uses Shuckle's attack, he will have to attach one of those energy that he wants to keep in the discard to one of his Pokemon. How strange. Now it looks like David went and actually used Inkay to put Shuckle to sleep then. But it looks like he woke up. Oh, and there we go, see? We saw the KO using Flapple on the Inkay, but then again, Erik is back in the same situation he was before. But he does have Kartana available now. Now, Kartana does, for a single energy, do 130 damage if you've got exactly 4 prize cards remaining. So Kartana would get a KO on the Giratina or the Mewtwo here, which is something to bear in mind. Now, the other thing is that Erik, of course, hit Boss's orders. So what we're probably going to see here, he gusted up the Malamar. What we're probably going to see here is Erik retreating the Shuckle and then attacking with the Vespiquen, getting the KO. And on the one hand, he is taking the Malamar off the field, and that's pretty big, because then it takes away all of David's energy acceleration. It is sad that it basically turns off Kartana for the rest of the game. Kartana's only really good if you've got 4 prize cards remaining, or if you're playing Twin Energy and a way to poison like Garbodor, but Erik is very much not playing any of that stuff. So Kartana's basically out this game. I don't know what Erik's saying here. He's pointing to the Kartana. And certainly this, for me, this will be a turn to attack with Kartana. And I think that might be what he's saying here. Because, of course, if you attack with Kartana, then you can save the Vespiquen for later. If you attack with Vespiquen, the Kartana is still pointless later. Ooh, now that I like. So we see a Scoop Up Net picking up the Shuckle and popping down an Applin. I love that play. Remember, I told you that if you're going to be using a Alolan Executor with Erik's deck, you've basically got to play Shuckle turn 1. You just got to. Or as early as you can. Now, Erik's going for the multiple Flapple route, and I really like this. I think this is going to put him in a really, really good position moving forward. And David's just not been getting going here. He's been playing supporters and things of that nature, but David just hasn't been attacking. He's just not had the attacks other than that one attack from Mewtwo. And now Erik, and this is generally what you're trying to do when you're against a Malamar deck, Erik has gone and got rid of the Malamar. Now we have seen Alana's Fishing Rod come down. That's going to help. But the fact of the matter is, David is on borrowed time here. Erik is ahead on prizes. He's got his board set up. And the thing is, you can talk as much as you like about, Erik doesn't have the consistency necessarily early game. And I might agree with that. I mean, I said that myself earlier in the game. But he's now got everything he needs for his Pokemon. And if Erik can draw some basic energy, he's going to be fine. And maybe he doesn't. He's only playing 6 grass energy. So maybe he whiffs later on in the game. That can happen. But unless that happens, things are probably going to be going quite well for Erik moving forward. And it looks like Mewtwo didn't even get really an attack off there. Now, the good news is David did get a replacement Inkay, which we like. We like the replacement Inkay. But I don't know how well this is going to do moving forward. Well, that Vespiquen is good. Well, we did see the Flapple be used there to put the 2 damage onto Mewtwo. Now, we actually see a second energy here coming down onto Vespiquen, which is not generally what we would expect. Now, Vespiquen only has that 1 attack, and it is for a single energy, but it does have a retreat cost of 2, so Erik is basically setting up here for if he needs to retreat that Vespiquen. It's the only real reason to attach a second energy. But as long as he's got a basic, and we know he's got a basic, right? We saw him put the Applin into his deck. So we know there is a basic in his deck. And as long as there's a basic in his deck, he's got the KO this turn. And you've got to think at this stage that Erik's got this. Like, Erik's going to be down, it looks like 2 prizes remaining to David's 5. So the only way that David kind of wins at this stage is by keeping up taking prizes himself while playing prize denial. And the thing is, as I've said a couple of times, without Flapple, there would be a chance here of prize denial. But Flapple's there. So prize denial is out. So it's kind of hard to see how Erik loses from here. David's had a slow start. Erik has taken advantage of it. And it very much looks like from here on in, he should just be coasting to victory. Now, the Vespiquen is going to go down here. Oh, this I like. Oh, this is going to lead to some interesting situations. We see the spell tag going down there. So that's going to drop 4 damage. And you might notice, I don't know if you've noticed, but Apple's got 40 HP. So what that means is that if there is an Applin on Erik's field, when he KOs the Giratina, that Applin will be KO'd. The good news is the Giratina took damage on itself from its attack, which means that Erik is not under any pressure here to actually use the Flapple. So he's going to leave both those Flapple on his bench. And that is going to... it's going to help. It's going to mean he's not giving up a cheeky KO. Now, he does get an execute down, which is going to help him out here. Evolve next turn. For anyone that's wondering, the execute has 50 HP, so it will not be KO'd by a spell tag. Oh, we actually see a big charm coming down on the execute here. I like that. Bearing in mind, when it turns into an executor, it's then going to have 160 HP plus the big charm, which is going to come in at 190, which is frankly ridiculous. Ooh. Now, we do see the damage going on to Inkay there. So Erik is going to need a Pokemon. He's going to need a basic Pokemon for his bench. And you've got to think it's not going to be Applin, because Applin will get KO'd by spell tag. And he's got to get another Pokemon, or else Vespiquen won't be attacking. 4 or fewer grass Pokemon on the bench and the attack fails. Now, there is another little interaction we've not mentioned yet. I told you how Giratina took the 4 damage from attacking onto itself. Okay, that Applin's going down. I don't think it matters, incidentally. I think David's too far behind in the prize race. But this is going to give David a free prize. I don't think he's going to lose the game. And I'm probably being slightly dramatic when I say he can't bench the Applin. But unless I've misunderstood one of these cards... I mean, that big charm could have gone on the Applin here, and then neither of those Pokemon on the bench would be in range of being KO'd. Yeah. So we do see the KO, and we do see the Applin going down from the spell tag. But remember, that might have been the only grass Pokemon that Erik had in his deck. So, had to be done. You'll notice that earlier when David attacked with Giratina, he put the 40 damage onto Giratina, which might seem bad because then it meant that Erik didn't need a Flapple. But had he put those 4 damage on Inkay, Erik could have just used Flapple to KO the Inkay, which is clearly a very bad idea. The problem is at this stage that Erik's only got 1 prize left. And there's things that can go wrong. Erik can... not get another grass Pokemon. I can't... oh. Yeah, the Applin got KO'd, so maybe there are no more grass Pokemon. And he doesn't get the Alolan Executor, and... I don't know. It's... and you see David's hand there. You know, he had both of his Sycamore and he had a Boss's Orders in hand all at the same time. This has not been David's game. David has not really done much of anything. We've had a really nice look, and I love Erik's deck. I love the inventiveness of his deck here. The Flapple, Vespiquen, and Alolan Executor combo, it was not one that was on my radar. But it's certainly one that I'm kind of excited about. And I love me some Vespiquen, right? That old Vespiquen, the one with Bee Revenge, was one of my favourite cards. So I'm all in on Vespiquen. Now the real question here is, does David have an answer? Is there anything that David can do to keep this game going? Remember, if Erik attacks next turn, either with Vespiquen or with Alolan Executor, that Malamar is going down. So David needs another basic. He needs to get Malamar out the active. And he somehow needs to take 3 prizes without Erik responding. And I don't know how he does. Honestly, the hope here for David is that Erik doesn't get an attacker. That he's not able to get another basic so Vespiquen can't attack. And he's not able to get his Alolan Executor. But of course, he can search it out with Turffield Stadium or Grovyle. So, I suppose, Grass Energy? Like, if Erik cannot find a Grass Energy or a basic Pokemon, David can still win this game. But at this stage, if we see either of those cards coming down from Erik here, it's game. Okay. Now, we do see Viridian Forest coming down. Oh, I do not see at this stage how. Because see, now Viridian Forest can search out the Grass Energy, Grovyle can get the Alolan Executor, and the Alolan Executor can get a KO. I suppose maybe Vespiquen gets stuck in the active, because it does have a retreat cost of 2. But again, the Viridian Forest will help him search out that energy. Yeah. Oh, this is not looking amazing. Now, David does have a Giratina, and he does get to drop some damage when he puts the Giratina out. And he does have Blacephalon here. And we do see another energy coming out by virtue of the Viridian Forest. But okay. So there is an Execute, and that's game. There was another basic Pokemon from Erik, and that was enough for him to KO the Malamar and take the game. Commiserations to David, whose deck just really did not get going that game. But congratulations to Erik. I love his deck. I'm excited to see it in action again. You know the deal at this stage, ladies and gentlemen. There's a bunch of links in the description for me, for the competitors, for Dragon Shield, etc. Check all those links out. I would be delighted. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCGRadio.